Morning, traders. Hope you are well. It's Tuesday, the 2nd of December, and we're already off to a winning start so far this morning. I was up a bit earlier this morning, and you see here on the our Bollinger Band stochastic strategy, we had a long position here at 6:35. Target one was the midline of the Bollinger Band there at 23,595. We got in here at 23.90 something we were filled at. There's you can see the cross. Oh, there you go. The cross isn't actually on there for some reason. See the cross in the stochastics is here. We actually got filled around about this time here, and off we went. Target one, target two. Pre-market high was our closing position here as we went burst through the upper half of the Bollinger Bands. That's target two. That's now moved up. So remember what we do. We look at the pre-market high, the pre-market low. We are still 25 minutes ahead of the open. So a weak day yesterday for the DAX, and unsurprisingly, we had a bit of a bounce this morning. So how long that's going to last for is somewhat questionable. So it's the DAX we like to trade pre-market. We'll have a look at the FTSE in a minute as well. Let's just make my great big head a bit small. You don't want to see that, do you? You want to see the screen. You want to see the trading screen. There we are. So long from here at 6:35 at 23.90, 23,590 we got filled, and finally out here as we burst through the we candle close through the Bollinger Band at 23,635. So 40 odd points on the well, no, I think it was 38 points we were actually filled on the DAX this morning, but that's enough. Happy days. That's a great start to the day. So see what happens around about 8 o'clock as we run into the open. So far we are up to the upside, but it's very much against the higher time frame. But it doesn't matter when we're trading the 5-minute time frame, does it? We're interested in picking off some points very quickly. So if we look at the hourly time frame, by default, big weekday yesterday, down to 23,400 yesterday morning on following the Asian session. Rallied a wee bit in the European session into the end of the US or the mid of the US session, and then we sold off here at 7 o'clock my time. Just check this is 7 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock server time, and we put in the low of the morning at 23.45. So we got in around about here. So we're ticking higher. What we'd like to see for the bulls is really a break above that candle there on the hourly chart, 23,666. So that's what we're looking for this morning. And then out of the touch of the Bollinger Band or out of the Bollinger Band. But as you can see on the hourly chart, this one also triggered long. In fact, it went long there. It's already been long, got to target one, then rescinded. And if we'd had stop loss to being a bit tight, it would have taken us out yesterday. But anyway, that's moving higher on the hourly chart. But if we look at the daily chart, you can see stock markets remain quite tentative. Big down day yesterday, and we bounced a wee bit today. So a rally from the end of November has cooled and stalled here on the DAX, we said yesterday, at 23,850, 23,800 for the sake of 50 points. And we're now back under the 20-day moving average. So as I said earlier, break of this 23,680 area will take us back over the 20-day moving average on the end of the day basis today. And my overnight system, my end of day system, was triggering a short yesterday. For today, potentially on the DAX. So we're going to watch that into the close. The FTSE this morning still range bound here on the daily time frame. We had a down day yesterday between these two key fib levels on a higher time frame. Again, it's bounced a wee bit this morning. I haven't been trading this with this strategy, but again, this would have triggered long here at 6:30. You would have got in there. So there's the touch of the Bollinger Band. Remember, this is the two steps we do when we're trading with this strategy. So touch of the Bollinger Band now. Now we're waiting for a cross to the upside. We're looking to go long now at this point at 6:05. But it's taking another 25 minutes before the actual stochastics, the K and the D line. Remember, we set them at 10, 6, and 3. So we crossed here at 6:30. That would have triggered a long position. We can automate all of this, guys. It's very simple code to write. That's gone long there at 9,691. We'd probably got filled at 95 at that time of the morning. See, the spread's quite wide there on the FTSE as we go into the open. So we've got filled in right about here, but there's target one taken out at 6,940.95, and then we're just about didn't quite touch the outside of the Bollinger Band here, and we didn't touch till this point here at when we got through 9,700. So the psychological 9,700 has been breached this morning. You see the spreads a bit hefty on the FTSE compared to the DAX. That's why I prefer to trade the DAX. Same on all platforms, but again, that's crossed again there. You see the Bollinger Band has crossed. We've had a touch, so that's actually gone short again there. So the FTSE on this 5-minute strategy there, guys, is short again. Here we'd have got filled where we are now, basically, because of the spread there, 79702 on the FTSE. So the FTSE short. The DAX is still. The DAX was long, and we've also crossed there. Sorry, I missed that one, didn't I? We went down there. That's flattened out, but we haven't taken that. Actually, we would have taken that short because that's just about gone against us. So that was stopped us out on that one. We've then crossed again there. We're looking to go short here, but it's on that one, and that one's also out of the money. So a big, nice winning trade, and then two small losers. Obviously, we're now looking for we're sitting on our hands now, waiting for the open to come along. We might roll down, we might not roll down, but that is currently, put that on there. That is currently short from that cross there. So that's short from here. So we're out of the money on that one. Stop loss up at the high, pre-market high. Let me just put that array in. So that's our short here at 23. Let's change the color of that one to make that short. So we'll make that make it purple. Can't really see that real, can you? Make it red. You can make it red. Make it red. So that's a short, and we're out of the money on that one. That's the pre-market high, and that's our opening positions from earlier this morning, the Asian session, our pre-market low. So what's driving the market this morning? Well, really, it's the bond yield, or the JGBs, the Japanese government bonds, the 30-year. They offer 100-year bonds in Japan, very, very long-term viewing. But the 30-year bond has hit all-time highs this morning in Tokyo overnight. So I'll show you the Reuters feed. This is a free, Reuters.com, guys. It's a free internet site. And I've just got the markets. It's got business on as well. Just got markets. So, that was yesterday's. So that quick headline there, the doldrums. Is it? World news. That's world news or business news or markets news. There we are. So that was yesterday's miss. We talked about yesterday, didn't we? We saw the manufacturing in the US missing expectations. Still remains under that key 50 level. It's in that, as it says here in the Reuters post from yesterday, 9th straight month. We saw that on the calendar, didn't we? We saw those candles under the zero line. So manufacturing, although the US is leading the global economy, manufacturing still remains woeful. And remember, sentiment-wise, it's very significant, especially political-wise. Trump has put a lot of store in returning high-quality manufacturing jobs to the United States with his tariff policies, and we haven't seen any sign of that just yet. But I mean, it may come. He was talking about giving people levies next year from the fees they've accumulated. So anyway, so this morning, this is the main news. Is I want to say the dive in bond rates, the bonds, so the big rally in JGBs. Went really well. So there was a good demand for that, but I say 3 year. Well, I'll show you here. 10 years were high, and 30 years at all-time highs. The other big news overnight is this continued decline we've seen in Bitcoin, down 7% for the year. There it says there, and we're down some 30% from our high on Bitcoin. So let's just pop over to Bitcoin ahead of the open. Where are 74? There's no news driving things this morning, so be a fairly typical Tuesday open, or whatever typical is. for the DAX. The Dow, if we just look at the Dow, I like to trade that as well on this short-term basis. But you can see that's fairly range bound, having had a weak day yesterday. Look at the daily candle yesterday. Big down day again yesterday. Back under that key Fibonacci level of 61.8. Big down day yesterday. Engulfing candle the last 3 days of last couple of days of November to start December. So it's negative, but many may be saying this is buying opportunities. Watch this key fib level and the 20-day moving average sitting there at 47,000. Key support for the Dow. So we were down yesterday. We're down again today. So that's the bias we want to be taking even on our short 5-minute trades. But as you can see, we've went long here. Thank you very much. There's again 630. Target 1, target 2's been hit. Waiting for the cross again. We got a cross there. So that's also short. From here, you can see that you can see why I say I prefer to. Obviously, the numbers are bigger, so the spread looks relatively better, but it is better from your performance point of view. So that would have triggered, or the system would have triggered a short position. Trading this manually, obviously, you need to watch it, but that would have gone short from 47,261. We'd have got placed a bit higher than that one. We can see the spread there is a bit tasty at the moment, but target 1 would have been hit at 47,245. So it's another 15 odd points on the Dow. Ahead of the market open, which is all nice, good. We're trading it, but very sideways action so far this morning. So that's currently, we do the same thing here. Pre-market high was this morning. Pre-market low was our trigger entry point, wasn't it? There around about 6:30. So that's the pre-market high and low so far on the that blue. Remember that one blue as well. Actually, not make it blue. Let's make it yellow. I can't see the yellow. Purple. That's purple. That's our pre-market high. And that's our pre-market low. So far away we got long, and that's our short position. We got target 1 there on the Dow on this 5-minute time frame. I've had a down day yesterday, so see how that goes. But more interestingly, we're interested in the activity really on the DAX. So we're short. I'm going to close that one. I had to close that one out now because we'll look like we're going to test the pre-market high as well. So that's a losing trade. So we had a winner here, a flat one down here, and a loser here. So I'll close that. I would have closed that out manually. The auto system wouldn't have done. It's looking like it may want to go long again at the moment, but we'll see how that rallies at the open. So elsewhere, I would say crypto is a big sell-off. Bitcoin under 87,000 again this morning. So again, if we look at the daily time frame, where's the daily gone? There's a daily one. Huge down day yesterday, as we said in our live event yesterday, into the 20-day moving average last week. Couldn't break over it. Sideways consolidation, had a big down day. So whether this is buying opportunities or not, we shall see. Remember I can't remember, it kind of been this setup, must have been the other setup. We don't want to rename it. Open layout must have been a different layout we had there. Lost my lines. I thought I put a lot of lines on the is it the VWAP? No, it wasn't the VWAP. The support lines. Remember we put all the that's a bit of a shame. Let's go back to our stochastics, our white background. I thought I'd put some lines in here on the daily time frame. Never mind. From yesterday, I hasn't held it. Sorry. So we were rolling in, weren't we? We were looking at this cluster all the way back here at 83,000 and 75,000. So 75,000 low from the Liberation Day panic is a target area for shorts here for Bitcoin. But you can see again what a huge engulfing candle is. And as I was saying yesterday, obviously there's more to be gained because of the volatility of Bitcoin, but also you have more to lose. So it follows the rules of trading like any other asset. It's just another asset, especially now with the pros trading it, the ETFs, the big fund managers moving the prices around as well. We just got to be a bit careful. And as you can see, that's triggered. I would have gone short again on the close last night. Having been long from when was that, the 21st, 22nd of November. So we've rallied into the target one, and then it's sold really, really aggressively yesterday. So 87,000 being breached. Here, the Bollinger Band is has pulled back in, so we're going to get a bit of a squeeze. So we could either accentuate this move down, or we could bounce quite aggressively. But we really need to break that 20-day move now. So we need to break 90,000 now this week as we go into. Obviously, it's not very far away relatively to the performance of Bitcoin. So 90, and then back to the 100,000. So break above the 20 period on the Bollinger Band there to take us lower. Support is last week's low was at 84,000, and the intraday low took us to 80,500. So watch that as well. The bears are in charge of cryptocurrencies, and we haven't been, as I said yesterday, we haven't been over this into the upper half since the end of October, and that was only briefly for a couple of days. The big sell-off was there at the beginning of October after having this final rally to these all-time highs at the beginning of October. And as I say, we are now some 30% down from our highs. Our new all-time highs we got in October, just shy of 128,000. So big down leg still in play on Bitcoin. So watch that today as well. Energies, we did take long positions last night on WTI and Brent. The money currently, it's just it was a technical trade, nothing really of any for me, but we did. If I resume this up, you can see we broke just weekly over the 20-day moving average. That was one of the reasons it triggered last night on WTI. So out of the money on WTI. We're also out of the money on Brent, but we did take a small position on both of those last night. The other position we took yesterday was, just go back to the indices, was the Nikkei. We were short the Nikkei on close yesterday. There's our entry. Can't remember the actual number we got in at, but that was where we got in at. I'll stop. I haven't set a target on that, so we got in at 9. That's right, 49,485. We're currently a little bit in the money at the moment. The spread is probably taking a lot of that away. Our stop loss is up here at the top of the Bollinger Band at 51,600. And we're short the Nikkei from last night. Let's put that in there. Last night, let's put that on the hourly chart. Let's see. Oh, we got filled. It was about 9, 10 o'clock last night, wasn't it? It was about, it wasn't 23, it was 20. Anyway, that's where you are. So we were filled last night. In fact, it was before then, wasn't it? I think it must have been those. That's 20. All right, okay, so we got filled here, didn't we? Yeah, there we are. On that one, our derivative was close. So we got filled at that price there, just above the candle. At 9:30, 10 o'clock it was when we got filled yesterday. So anyway, that is short on the daily time frame. And the other positions, we were looking about 30 odd pips on 40 pips, 50 pips on the Forex pairs we looked at yesterday. So dollars remained weak overnight. Expectations of Kevin Hassett becoming the nomination from Trump. It's this gossip on the wires that he will announce something as early as today. President Trump has preferred his nomination. Kevin Hassett, he's been a long time Trump man. He's been with the president well over 10 years. He's one of his business secretaries. I call him the smiling assassin. He's always grinning when he's on TV or he's interviewed. But very much an advocate of faster rate cuts, which should, potentially, technically, not technically, but theoretically should weaken the dollar give a boost to asset prices, more risk on things like crypto and stocks. Obviously, at the moment, we're going in the opposite direction on that. So we'll see how that plays out if he gets nominated, what his nomination, how difficult his nomination becomes, the impact of it being announced now in December. It's still 5-6 months before we get to May, and Jay Powell has to walk away. So yeah, and very much more relaxed on an elevated inflation number. Kevin Hassett. So I think I shared that on my thoughts on Discord last night as well on that. So anyway, we are short the Nikkei, and I said the forex pairs was expecting a strength in the yen. Okay, so we actually executed a short on the Swiss yen, which is again, it's out of the money. I might close that one out because that hasn't played out. It was a short term one, but we'll see how that goes for the rest of the day. And the euro yen was also a short position from last night. Again, it's gone against us there. So the yen's weakened again this morning, having had a 3-day run to the downside and a good day yesterday. These were key levels, but we were short there. The Aussie and the CAD are also looking to go short today. CAD yen, we'll see how that actually plays out. And the Aussie, obviously it's early days yet, also looking short yesterday. That's probably on my system. I haven't got a strategy open at the moment, but that's probably counter-acted. So Aussie continues to push high. It's way over one. It's over 100 at 102. So the yen's weakened again today as the stabilization in the bond market has come in as the European trades get to the desk. So let's just jump back to the DAX and the opening trades on that one. So we closed out our short position, didn't we? So remember, big down day yesterday. Expected a potential bounce today on Tuesday. I've had such a weak Monday, but that's just for the higher time frame trades for us trading the opening. So that would have stopped out already now. So we have got a new all-time high. Sorry, an all-time high, pre-market high here, right ahead of the open. So just get rid of those previous trades. That's our winning one. That's our losing one. There's the open of the day. There's the low. So we are buys to the upside still, aren't we? There's that's what we got in and got stopped out. So let's have a look what's going. So this is looking, we've touched here, looking again to go weak. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to wait till the opening trades are over. Remember now with our volume 2, it's a 5-minute window if you've got a standard account. I need to look at the details of all the different accounts we've got. I've been away. I did know what was coming, but I haven't done my due diligence. So I apologize about that, guys, on that one. So let's have a look what goes on down here with the DAX. It's relatively quiet. FTSE, remember we were what were we? We were short on the FTSE as well, weren't we, on that cross? And that's been stopped out as well because we would have had our stop loss just a wee bit up here. But so I don't really trade the FTSE on that one. But in the open, but let's see what happens because these are the two markets, the cash markets here in London and Frankfurt opening as we speak. And to say the new, there's not a great deal of news today. There's European inflation later on today at 10 o'clock my time, 10 o'clock London time, 12 o'clock server time. So watch that later on. Some calendars have got the jolts coming out today. They tend to come out on a. Doesn't look like that's going to happen today. Remember, all the US data because of the shutdown, and it's very tentative when it's actually going to come out. But really watch anything comes out of the White House with regard the new Fed chair. The other key event later on today is Michelle Bowman, who's deputy chair. She's head of compliance at that's not a title, but that's a role really at the Fed. She was also in the frame potential Fed chair. She's testifying before the Financial Services Committee in Washington this afternoon as well. So she may get pushed on future outlook for interest rates, but she's very good at batting that off. Private oil inventories later on today as well as the only other highlight I can see here. So Europe is in focus this morning with the inflation data expected to remain steady at 2.4%. for the core and 2.1% for the headline number. Unemployment also expected to remain unchanged at 6.3%. So opening trades are going through. The FTSE has that short as would have been played out. It's moving lower. So there's the cross. We were short and they got stopped out. Could have gone short again on this, but let's wait to see what happens on the open. The DAX we'd already traded that, so that as the high is crossed there, we'd have got in here at 50. This is still, again, see here, we'd have got in here on that second cross, although this one would have failed. There we'd have got in there and it's stopped us out because we've gone short, but we got short again here. Short again there, 10 minutes into the open, ahead of the open, and it's moved down. Okay, so we're going down. Let's hit target 1. Target 2 is all the way down here. Let's see what happens. And I've now, pulled the stop loss down to entry for the volatility. Sorry, I've left a stop loss at the pre-market high for the volatility of the open, but it looks like the volatility of the open is already over. But let's see what happens on the completion of the candles. If you want to trade, if you can't wait for the 5 minutes, 2 minutes is the other one I quite like. Obviously a bit more, significantly more, not significantly, but more volatile. So we had a cross short there that didn't work out, and the last one was there. So again, similar on the 2 minute pattern at 0758. But again, you're within that 5 minute window of the cash open. Actually, what I'm talking about, it's not deemed a high impact event, is it? So we could legitimately have got that short there, having been long earlier, short now to target 1 and 2 down the 2 minute. The 5 minute, our default, is hit target 1 and we're still short. See how that candle finishes. I might pull the stop loss down from the pre-market high to the entry level on that one, but that's in the money. Has that had an impact on our Nikkei? No, Nikkei is going in the opposite direction and ticking up. Nikkei's still open. I don't think it's quite closed yet. And let me just check. The FTSE's finished. Okay. So a quiet day today, which is why we're doing this. Looking at the open, but let's just go through the majors on the forex, which we didn't do, did we? We'll come back to the DAX. So we're still, there we are, still nicely in the money. I'll come back to the DAX in a minute. So I'll pull my stop loss now down to entry from that last trigger at that point there. Well, there we are, 23,640 or 23.10. So that's 30 points on open. I'm happy to take that off as well. So we had a winning from 630, flat one, a losing one, and then another winning one now in the open. So have a system, guys. Trade your system. Accept your losing trades. Don't risk too much. And it can be happy days. Follow the rules here at Prop Trade, and you get to be a funded trader much quicker than you might anticipate. So, I say not a great deal going on. The news really in the Asian session, as we've touched on already, was the bond market, the Japanese government bonds, 30-year high, and the 10-year moving higher as well. It's cooled off a little bit in the last hour or so, but that's driven particularly Asian markets. Europe looking forward to the inflation data out of Frankfurt. So euro will be in play this morning. Actually, let's just do the dollar. See what levels we're looking at on euro dollar as we go into the open. So consolidation. That's 5 minute time frame. So start with a 4 hour or start with a daily. So bias is still to the downside. The lows are getting lower. So here we are. We may have formed a bounce here at 115. So let's just put that in. 115. That's it. Actually, let's delete that. Put it in as that line. Put that. Make that 2 because there's a big fat round number. We put that as at 115. We did this. Perhaps it's losing them still, like it was pre-upgrade. So there's 115. where we saw buyers at the beginning of the month, buyers again at the end of the month in November. So we've moved up, but we're still channel bound, although buys to the downside or had been. Now we're back over. So was that from yesterday? Yes, it's that 1630 area, wasn't it? We were talking about. There's a resistance area. This was from yesterday, wasn't it? It's 1630. So I'm just going to take that off for a minute. As a resistance area, 1630. We got to that yesterday and then cool, but we still finished the day positive. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positive days for euro dollar. Anticipation is that the dollar might weaken further into the what's looking like a definite rate cut next week. It was 80. It closed at 85% yesterday, sorry, let me just bring that up. It closed at 85% yesterday. We were at 87. This is expectations of a cut. So 87.2 we are currently. We closed at 86.4. We were at 87.2, weren't we? Sorry, 88. It was nearly 88, wasn't it? It was 87.8 or something yesterday. But that's still looking pretty nailed on. If we do get this announcement of Hassett being the preferred nominee from Trump before the meeting, which is looking pretty certain, that will add to that. That might tick that back up over 90% before next Wednesday. But anyway, just watch that. That's looking like a weaker dollar. So euro needs to just, that 1630 area, this sort of pivot area through here is where we need to break above to take this pair high. So 1630 is our first resistance today. And then the top of the Bollinger Band sits at 1650. So two key areas to the upside for the euro. If we get some dollar strength today, support sits today at 1570, or 1580, 1570. But we are still biased to the upside on the daily time frame. The 4-hour chart is a very similar pattern. We've topped out that 1650 yesterday and came back down, but we're still in the upper half of the Bollinger Band. So we bounced, moved lower yesterday into the European close, but we've moved higher weekly in the Asian session. But interestingly, we're above this little cluster here from last week. So we're ticking higher. 4-hour chart has resistance at 1635. And the 1-hour trade today has been strong yesterday. There's that top at 1650, and then down for the European and the US session, and sideways in Asia. And we're still, interestingly, in the hourly chart under the in the under half of the Bollinger Band. So closer to home, 1615 is resistance, and 1600 itself. Let's put that in as well. Today has held all of December so far, I should say. So 116 is holding big support, resistance 15 pips above that at currently on the hourly chart. Obviously, markets waiting for the European inflation in a couple of hours' time. As I said, yen was weaker yesterday. It's been perky today. It's been weaker again today. It was perky yesterday. So we went all the way down to, as we said yesterday, 145.60 zone, and we're back to over 155, and we're heading for 156 potentially today. So yen weakening again in the US session and in the Asian session as those bond yields have sparked interest. So dollar up against the yen, weak against other currency. Dollar CAD 135.95. So again, testing the 140 zone, but knocking away from it overnight. And this morning, support at 139.90. So quite a tight range there for dollar CAD. Aussie 65.50 again. So Aussie, having been sold off a bit yesterday, has come back this morning, still in very much range bound, but in the top half of that range band. So if we did a little fib level just here from yesterday's high to this morning's low, you can see we've recovered over 50% of that. See that? So we're still very much range bound up this and above the key 65 level. I don't want to get rid of that You see there on the hourly chart, we're sort of range bound there, 65, 60 top, with a support at 65.40. So again, that hourly chart for December is above the key dot 65 level. I wonder why it's not keeping. I wonder if it's because it's doesn't save them. I'm going to see. We're going to come back to this. I thought it was on a different 65 Aussie dollar. We've been above it and held it since the 26th. So Aussie picking up against the weaker United States dollar. Sterling cable 132 this morning. Another key pivot area on a higher time frame. Again, a bit range bound. We got as high as 132.75. 132 is our low and the support area. Sorry, let's put that in as well. It's obviously not. Perhaps it's not keeping the lines overnight. Where's my horizontal line? Put that in it. 132. Just bear with me a second. 132. People say to me, "Why are you so obsessed with round numbers?" I said, "Well, because that's what happens. That's what the market does. It's don't fret about a few pips. These exact lines, these exact numbers. They're all ranges. Nothing's exact in trading." As you can see there, you could argue that the support is a little bit above 132, but really that's the key buying zone where the algos will be kicking in. So again, you can see the range bounce. So selling at the top. Selling at the top and there since that top there to 132.70 zone. Again, it's not actually 70s, it's 132.68, but 70 pips range there. So that's what we're doing for December for sterling. So we're consolidating at highs. That's the 1 hour chart. The 4 hour chart will be a similar range, so it's wider. There we are. There's that. See that bit higher there. It gives you another 10 pips if you're that keen on 10 pips on 4 hour charts from the 13th of November. But obviously, that's some sort of technicality. 132.20. That high is now that support area. So you could pull that key support up and buy 10 pips earlier. Every pip. If you're really gambling on those 10 pips, but really that's the range 132, and 132.70, 70 pip range to the upside for sterling. Kiwi 57.30 also bid against the weaker dollar so far in December. That's slipped a bit lower this morning and it's ticking up again now. So 57.30 and significantly above 56. Oh, interesting. It's kept 56. And I'll put in 57 as well. It's a weaker level 57 for the Kiwi. But we've been above that now. So December's kept us above 57 basically. Okay. So it's 57 for the Q. So the story is the weaker dollar on these higher time frames. Swiss franc, so we missed Swiss franc at the top of the shop. 80.40. It's had a really, really good run this year. The Swiss franc dollar's come back a tad. And today we are sort of again consolidating, but at these relative lows. So here yesterday we went to 79.96. So we went under .80. On the horizontal line on the key Swiss franc pair. So let's put that in as well. And we'll come back to these, see if these have all stayed on. When we look again tomorrow and later on. So there's .80 tested buyers. Off we went up a bit, but again you can see the highs are getting lower, the lows are getting lower, still in the downtrend. Have we turned around? Well, at the moment here on the hourly chart, we've just ticked back over the 20-day moving average, but 20-hour moving average to say, but we don't. Here yesterday and today we got a top at 80.50, so .80.50, another 50 points from the low, and we're sideways with very little data driving the forex markets other than the expectations that the Fed will cut about 25 basis points and see what the dot plots. There's lots of economic predictions and dot plots are also on next Wednesday. It's obviously the end of the year, as well as all that sort of mixing up, mashing up stuff going on as well. So dollar higher remains relatively. Let's just go back to the DAX and see where we are on our short, see what's happened in the open fray. So that's the hourly chart. So it's been long this morning on the higher time frames. We're not interested in that. We were looking at the 5-minute time frames, weren't we? Let's have a look. So there, indeed, we did get stopped out, although having hit target 1 initially. So that's the vagrancies, remember, guys, of trading the open. So we did go long again, and it's a weak cross open turn. So we got so the market high, once the open is completed here, is actually higher than the pre-market high, which was moving up. So that's relatively bullish for, as we were saying earlier, for stocks today, having had such a sell-off. That's what we were suggesting earlier, wasn't it? So if I just draw so we saw this rally from 6:30. We had a retrace just ahead of the open. Pre-market high was there, and then the open has taken us longer again. So this is positive. Okay, so I'll be happy to have bought on that big candle there. Remember, at 10 past, I'd be happy to have bought that again at that point there. I was trading that manually. Technically, this is on this strategy. It's still it was short from here, and it's been stopped. The short has hit target 1, then second target has stopped out. Remember, we pulled the stop loss down to the entry level because it was looking a bit twitchy with these long wicks here. Remember, before we left it, and that has now been stopped out. So we've had a half a position win, and now we're closed. And again, I say if we'd been watching this, I'd have been happy to have taken that potentially long, a small position. But how much of the bounce we're going to get from yesterday's sell-off, we need to see the higher time frames. So if we got the higher time frames, we got the 15-minute. Obviously, this is the volatility of the open. We are ticking higher. So 30-minute, big candle there at 6:30, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So that's looking quite positive. We've got to new highs here. So that's relatively positive down on the 30-minute time frame, and the hourly time frame is also up. But you'd see we had this big sell-off yesterday. So again, from our high to our low yesterday, where are we? So that was our high. Not yesterday. That was yesterday's high, the opening position. That's our low. So look what we've done. We've done the magic of Fibonacci, or the wizardry of Fibonacci, some people call it. I don't know why they get so uptight about it, but let's play that again. So that's our range from yesterday. And where are we? Well, we've recovered over 50% of that, but we're finding resistance, or there is significant resistance on an intraday basis, both the top of the Bollinger Band and the 61.8 fib level. So we've had a positive, see that on the hourly chart, we've had a positive start to Asian and the European session so far for the DAX. But don't get carried away. We need to see a break, and this is quite a significant break of the 61.8 fib at 23,685, which you mentioned earlier, didn't we? It's the top of the Bollinger Band. So that's the higher time frame. As far as we're concerned, trading the open, we've been successful overall again. We had a couple of losing trades, flat trade, but we were long from 6:30. Got stopped out here. Got another long, another short here just before the open at 10:2. Target 1 was hit at the Bollinger Band. Then we pulled the stop loss down to the entry. That's then reversed. As I say, a tentative long, although we haven't actually physically taken. And there you can see the yesterday's key fib level at 61.8. So again, there'll be profits taken there if that doesn't break for some traders using that those levels. Again, it's all about what you trade and how you trade. We haven't actually looked at gold, have we? Sorry about that, guys. I know a lot of you exclusively go. Your gold there, Harshit's just asked about my view on gold. What time was that, Harshit? I'm very sorry. I've just seen you. 8:03. That was 15 minutes ago. Harshit, I hope you're still here. Sorry, I'd completely forgotten about gold. It's early. I've only had a very weak cup of tea, no coffee yet this morning. So Haven't had me porridge, me oats. So gold, it's obviously the weaker dollar, the assets weakening like crypto. We're over 4,200 is the story. So we are positive. Let's just go back to the start with the high time frame, the daily time frame. We are definitely positive here. Last week, the 7th week, beginning that Monday, that's Friday, sell off there on the 14th as we'd been to 4,225. Then we signed support there at 4,000. Yeah, again, it's losing all my lines, isn't it? This bloody thing. Try playing with C Trader. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4,000. So 4,000 is the key support. 4,200 200 were over this morning again to $15. So that's still bid to the upside. See what support here at the Bollinger Band. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days now to the upside. Good day yesterday. Rejected the top of the Bollinger Band at the moment. So that might be looking to go short, but we're down a tad today. So bias is still to the upside in the higher time frames. Let's come down the other time. With 4 hours still be relatively positive. No, top, interestingly, 4 hours topped out with a tweezer top there. There's the that's the 4 hour traders would have got short here. So 4 hour Harshit is short. I'm not saying short. I'm using this strategy, the one we're talking about today. That was short from yesterday at 3 o'clock, the 3 o'clock candle. And it's just, well, it hasn't quite hit target one, but target one got quite close to it later into close yesterday. And we've bounced a bit. So 4 hour is short, Harshit. 1 hour is, he was short earlier there. You can see there's the outside of the Bollinger Band, then we cross, so it's gone down. So your stop loss would have been above that, might have taken you out. But yeah, that's running lower, then it's hit target 2. That tentatively looked like a long, but earlier. So it's a bit of a mixed message. So the 1 hour, so there's the outside touch. See, it's not break. It's again, this is when you get a bit more nuanced with the actual strategy itself. It's very, very simple. The Bollinger Band and the stochastics, but the more you look at it, the more experience you get with it. You can see here the body of the candle here. When we were flattening out, if you were trading this overnight, 1 o'clock, if you're an Asian trader, or awake in the Asian session in Australia or Japan or other parts of Asia, it looked like that was potentially to go long. And by here, that looked quite relatively positive. So you would have got a long, I'd have taken that long position there. But with the caveat that the body of the candle didn't break the Bollinger Band. It was just the wick, the activity of the 1 o'clock candle. So that could have been anything causing that. And we've done it again here this morning as the European traders get in at 6 o'clock and the Asian traders start to close up for the day. Another wick. So it's trying to go long, but it's a weak move, and we are still in the under half of the Bollinger Band. But that may be tentative buy there on the see how this hour closes. We've still got an hour to go, so I'd be waiting for that on an hourly trader. The 30-minute and 15-minute traders probably already will have triggered long. So the 30-minute trader, there's the long there. It's gone up. It's got to target 1, but then it's sold off again, hasn't it? And that's gone short. Interestingly, again. So it's a bit mixed. I'd like to see a breaker. I'd just be sitting on my hands, to be honest, Harshit, at the moment on this one. We did have again, just go back to the higher time frame. So we've had a really good run. A bit of a weak day yesterday, and we're down so far today. So the bias is to the downside. So that 30-minute trader, that big down candle, is that the lower day? Well, not really. Again, the spike at midnight took us to 4,200, but obviously clearly buyers at 4,200 because we went under it by a tad. So, but are we going in to test it again during the European session later on today? In the US session, we'll see. You need to break over that 4,220 now to take us high, but you can see the 30-minute is to the downside. 15-minute will be similarly, I guess. That's had a weak buy again, and it's again, if you're trading this strictly on short there and got gone short again. Sorry, we've gone short there. No, hang on, we haven't touched those. So, sorry. So we've burst out the outside. We're looking to go long. So we'd have gone long on the 15-minute here. So there's the break of the Bollinger. Remember, the Bollinger Band is first, and then the stochastic second. So there's the break of the Bollinger Band there at 16.15. We haven't crossed side, so we've missed that rally up. Then it's gone down again, and then we finally get long here. So we're long. The 15-minute trader is long. It's hit target 1 because that would have been the entry for 22.13. Target 1 would have been only $3 high, but that's the rules. And if you'd had your stop loss too close, too tight, you were already stopped out there on the open. Stop loss would have been initially there. I'd have dragged it up now to the bottom of the Bollinger Band, that wick at 4207. And I'm still long, having taken some money off the table. It's a weak one. So 15-minute is looking long, and the short term harsh hit 5-minute gone long. There's a touch, there's a cross, so he's gone long. You'd have got filled there. So the 5-minute trader would have been long there from 8.10 at 4214, and again they are in the money as well by $1 or so for gold. Harshit, I hope that's answered your question. Hope you're well, my friend. 1999 Harshit Wookie. So that's gold for the short-term traders. As I say, on the daily time frame, we are still bid to the upside strongly in the upper half of the Bollinger Band. Good day, positive day yesterday, not as good as Friday, but starting the month relatively positive. Resistance 4,260, that high we got to yesterday for gold. Right, I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know what we're doing tomorrow at the moment. Still a long way away. I will remember later. Watch our Discord panels. Obviously, the Discord's here, my friends. So remember, from my trades, my end of day trades there under the trade chat post. So under trading, obviously payouts, trade chat. There's the trades we took last night. We were long oil and we were short base or long the yen, but we're out the money on those two, the euro and the Swiss franc at the moment. And the Nikkei is in the money, I think, wasn't it? If I remember rightly. Just a little bit. And that will have now closed for the day as well. 49.39. Yeah, so we it's flat, a little bit in the money. Technically, we're probably out of the money given the spread that's involved. But anyway, we're short the Nikkei, long oil, and long short the yen as well. It's also out of the money at the moment. More on that later. So see you all tomorrow. Watch the European inflation data. No particular surprises expected, but if it's a significant difference to what's expected, it could be could cause some volatility on the European front. So there we are. The inflation rate 2.1%, 2.4% for the core, and 6.3%. No change in unemployment rates either. So watch all of that later on today. This isn't happening, I don't believe. The JOLTS is not today. This calendar, I believe, is not correct, but who knows? It may be the case. But there we go. Right, see you all tomorrow. Trade carefully. May the pips be with you as ever. And any questions, stick it on the WhatsApp group. It's not the WhatsApp one we're talking about. Stick it on the our Discord group, and the guys, super support team, will sort you out very, very quickly. Okay, take care. See you all tomorrow. All the best, everyone. Bye-bye.